Hi guys, I'm Mike Plays Disc Golf. I'm back here with another in the bag. As I did one at the end of last season, I thought I'd continue the trend and do another one now. So, as you can see, first upgrade, I've got a Discmania Jetpack, which is a grip equipment BX3. It has these big expandable side pockets, so these come out and you can fit loads of stuff in here. It's got two drinks holders on the back and is super comfortable and not too heavy to wear. I did have a Prodigy BP3, but I thought this just looks nicer. And really the storage space for non-disc items is what I was going for. It's got a waterproof sealed pouch here, which for valuables, keys and stuff. It's got the top putter pocket, space for plenty of discs here, as well as another couple of places where you can slip gear. I've also got, on the side, it's got space for my disc retriever and a towel, which are very important playing in England. So, now onto the discs. So, I haven't changed everything from last video, however, a lot has changed. So, my main putting putter, I still have a Penrose, now with a Silly Goose stamp. These are still, they're now nice and beaten in. I've got 5 of these which I practice with. Only carry one of with me at the moment, just as a weight saving thing for when I went to play in Amsterdam a couple of weeks ago. I really know this disc so well. There's just places to put my fingers. It's a really nice beaded putter. Really like putting with this. My throwing putter for approaches, I have a Discmania Logic, personalised again, so it's now an illogical goose, sticking with the theme. It's a shallow P2, but this one's now nice and beaten, feels nice in the hand, can throw it and it glides nicely. And then I also have a pair of zones, the Get Freaky and the putter line. This is still retains its nice overstability, and this one will fly a lot straighter for a lot longer, which is really useful having these as a pair to work together. So other discs which I tend to use for approaches, they're both mid-ranges but quite slow. I have the C-Line MD 4500, so this holds its line. If I put it on an Annie, it will glide for ages and then just fly completely straight and land where I want. And then the MD2, I've got this in D-Line. I've thrown it into about 3 trees. It is now so flippy and so straight, so if you put any torque, any power on it, it will just continue moving to the right on a backhand, but flies really nicely when I want it to. You can put it on a hyzer and it will flip up and fly straight. So I'm still learning that disc, but it's starting to do what I want when I want it to happen. Other mid-ranges I've got are the Discmania MD1. I've got an XL 180 gram one, and I'm waiting for a restock of Mindbenders at London Disco Community, which I'll probably get in bag. I've thrown one and it's just a touch straighter and less stable than this, possibly because of the weight, or possibly because the person had beaten it in nicely. But this is a really straight flying mid-range, holds a line. If you put it on an Annie, it will fly exactly where you want to. And then on the overstable spectrum is the Mutant from Discmania, which baby tilt, baby Firebird. It will fly straight for a bit and then just dump, which is really useful sometimes. So I'm loving throwing this disc. I fill my bag with lots of fairways and drivers. So currently in here, I will probably get rid of 1 or 2 of these sometime, but I throw them all at the moment. I've got a Discmania TD, So 10.5 minus 2.1. I've had a couple of these, lost a couple of them, but they fly so nicely. Just putting a bit of power on them, and they will sort of have a nice lot of turn with not too hard a fade. So really good for straight shots, especially around some of the wooded courses in the UK. I have a Mamba from the Women's Global event a couple of years ago, which I got off of my teammate Lee. It's 149 grams, and you can throw it on a really strong hyzer, and if you put any power on it, it pops up and flies straight, or if you put too much power on it, it will turn over and keep gliding to the right. I didn't realise that this was a disc that I needed so much, and I can get really good distance with it, or get it to move right and move right around the corner, which is perfect. I have got a pair of Discmania PDs, one of the new Italian plastic C-line ones, which is nice and overstable still, and my old S-line one, which was the first Discmania disc I bought, which is now starting to become much less stable, but if I throw it, I can still get quite a good S-curve on it, whereas this is just flat to fade, which is also really nice. I've got the Discmania FD, which once again, nice and overstable, but a bit slower. Not too overstable that it dumps out too quickly, but I can really rely on this disc, what it's going to do in every situation. It will fly straight and then come out hard. Next, Discmania Essence, which I don't throw very often anymore since I've got the TD, but it's still got its space in my bag that I throw sometimes. The stamp is starting to come off this quite a lot. We'll see how long this survives. The Trilogy Challenge Saint, the only Trilogy disc in my bag. This is one of the best drivers that I've thrown, I think, ever. It will just fly straight and just glide, which is sometimes really what I need. I don't have the best backhand power, so having a Saint at this speed and knowing this disc, even though I've only thrown it for a few rounds, it's really perfect. It's got a space, it flies so nicely. And my final fairway is the Splice. This will just dump out hard, whether thrown on a backhand or a forehand. Useful for some flex shots if I really need them, and occasionally good to go up and over with a grenade, and I know it's just going to spike really hard. So a really nice utility disc, just like the Mutant, just slightly faster. And then the four distance drivers that I've got, I have both a Cloudbreaker and a Cloudbreaker 3. The Cloudbreaker's slightly more stable than the Cloudbreaker 3 at the moment, so I will throw this if I want less fade and slightly more straight flight, whereas this was still highs around corners really nicely. Although depending on the angle, the Cloudbreaker 3 is lovely, it will stand up just slightly more. I have my DDX from which I've had for a long time now, which now has my Honk Lab Tri-Fly stamp on it with the 3 geese. I don't throw this much anymore. I find the green quite difficult to see, unfortunately, in the fairways, but if I want less fade or to turn it a bit more in the air, then this flies really nicely. It's just a nice disc to have as well. It feels really nice in the hand. And then a disc I've just got, which I quite enjoyed on the one fieldwork session and one round I played with it, is the Active Premium Mentor. So for a speed 11 disc, so a bit slower than the last 3 that I've showed you, it will stand up and glide, but then reliably fade at the end. It'd be nice to beat this in just a little bit more, to have just the stand up and then completely straight flight with a less severe fade, but I think this is definitely going to find a space in the bag. I'm not keen on the stamp, so I'll probably wipe that soon. I've also found that The grip bag has some really nice places to decorate and personalise, and I'm really looking forward to carrying this bag next year. It's nice and light, not too heavy, and the storage makes it perfect. So a bit of a quick in the bag there, and hopefully over the winter I'll be able to make a bit more content, maybe go and play some rounds or do some more challenges. See you in the next video.